Today, I'm going to start an AI automation service completely from scratch and build out all of the infrastructure that you need in order to get your very first paying client using this business model. I'm going to whip up the offers, I'm going to do the copywriting, I'm going to talk templates and blueprints, and I'm going to do it all live in front of you, all the way up to getting my very first interested party on a call. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I just want to show you guys how accessible this business model is, so you guys have everything that you need, basically like a copy-paste playbook to get up and running yourself. In a nutshell, this is what we are going to do today. We're going to start by finding and choosing a high-demand AI service that clients are pretty desperate for right now. I'm then going to set up my lead scraping and outreach infrastructure in just a few minutes. Then I'm going to create an irresistible offer that practically sells itself. I'm going to generate qualified leads using 2 proven methods that cost very little in the grand scheme of things. And then finally, I'm going to generate my very first interested leads using these methods. So it doesn't need to be scary, doesn't need to be intimidating. I'm going to give you guys everything you need. Let's get started and make some freaking money. Okay, this is going to be the document I'll do everything off of, and this is the roadmap. I'm going to start by picking 3 niches. I'm going to determine 2 high-demand AI services per niche to solve real client problems in them. I'll even show you how I do a little bit of research. After that, we're going to set up lead scraping and outreach infrastructure. This is a pain point for a lot of people that are watching this video, so I'm looking forward to solving that. Then we're going to create an irresistible offer using a simple copywriting formula that I've talked about, but I don't think a lot of people have seen. Then we're going to actually generate real qualified leads. Then we'll chat next steps, how to actually, like send a proposal and close the deal and so on and so forth. Okay. So you're going to see everything in this video from start to finish. I've named this Watch Me Start and Sell an AI Service in Just X Hours. I don't know what the X is yet because I decided to record it before I did all the stuff, which I think is the best way to do it. So let's get up and running with just the very first step, which is picking 3 niches. So I'm going to be relying on some of the templates in Maker School, which is my automation community, which basically just covers how to do all this stuff. So the very first thing I'm going to do is go over to month 1, and then I'm just going to find some niches, okay? So what I do in day 2 is I have a little document over here called the Niche Discovery Spreadsheet. And what this document is it's literally just a bunch of possible niches that you could pick for this business model, then a bunch of different service lines that I could pick for this business model. Then I literally just mash them together to give you a ton of different positioning statements. And a positioning statement is just what I call something of the form, I build X for Y. So X is the thing that we build, and then Y is the business type that we are approaching, okay? So I don't actually know what niches I'm going to pick yet. The reason why I haven't thought about this is because I wanted to put myself in as similar a position to as many of you as possible. So I'm just going to do a little bit of brainstorming out loud, and maybe we'll cut it so it's not just me staring off into the void. When I'm thinking niches, I'm thinking digital businesses that I can source leads for very easily using automated methods. I'm also looking for businesses that have pain points that I'm pretty good at solving. And so historically, one of the main strengths that I have is like marketing, lead gen, growth for the most part. So I'm probably looking for businesses that I can realistically help with their growth. So there are a variety of different business types here that I think that I might have some prior experience with. I might have some sort of unique understanding of. And what I'll do here is I'll just pick a bunch. Hello to the anonymous panda that is currently on this page with me. So I think website developers are okay. I'm also looking for niches that have money to spend, right? So I could do some sort of website development agency. One niche that I've tackled before and I've had reasonable success with is the creative agency, and some creative agencies do website development. So why don't I bold this? I could do sales with website developers actually, which is nice. Let me scroll through here and see more. IT consultants, e-learning consultants. Just trying to get some ideas here, Maybe I'll do video editing agencies as well, because I've actually worked in video editing, so I sort of have some unique understanding of the problems that they face. And then, let's see here. I want to keep this pretty easy and pretty fast. I don't really want to spend too much time thinking about the niches. I just want to get the 80-20 in front of me, and then I'll move forward. Probably do some content writing firms as well. No, I don't think I want to do content writing firms, because then I'd have 2 that I've run before. I've run a video editing agency and a content writing agency before. I don't want anybody to accuse me, or I want to beat the allegations that I'm just doing businesses that I've already operated. So let me think. What else we got? Why don't we do real estate agents? A lot of people chatting about real estate agents now. That looks pretty good. Okay, so website development, I'll do video editing, and then I'll do real estate, okay? So I'm going to head back over here. I'm going to have my 3 niches laid out. We are going to do website agencies. So I might just do creative, to be honest. A creative agency might be a better way to conceptualize this, but we'll see. I'm just going to put this down for now, and then we'll figure it out later. And then we're going to do video, I'll just say video editors for now, plus real estate, okay? That seems pretty easy to me. We got 3 niches. We can actually already move on to the next step. And the next step is us going to be determining 2 high demand AI services per niche that solve real client problems. Okay. So this is another step where a lot of people get kind of caught up. They don't really know how to go about actually determining what services to sell to people. And that's totally okay. I don't have any like built-in resources for this, but what I'm going to do is just show you a simple framework that I always use when, trying to figure this stuff out. So assuming that I had no knowledge of website agencies and video editing and real estate, how would I go about actually getting it? Well, I would probably first turn to communities or Reddit threads, or basically areas on the internet where a bunch of the people in these three niches congregate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find some communities where I've seen website agencies go in, maybe like a website developer community or something like that. I'm going to join a bunch and then I'm just going to read top to bottom and see what some of the problems that they face are. So I'm going to head over to school.com/discovery. School is just the main community platform right now. So I'm just going to go here and then I'll pipe in website. And let's see. Looks like getting tons of abs. So I think the term website is probably not the term that I want to use. I imagine website is just like a general purpose term that like everybody has somewhere on their page, and the search feature here is just pulling them up. So I'll go website developer. Maybe. Okay, Software Developer Academy, Dev Builders Club. There's the AI Automation Agency Hub. That's actually basically what we're talking about, so I'm not going to do that. Web Agency Accelerator. See this? This looks perfect. This is exactly the sort of stuff that we want. Awesome. What else? Web Designers Collective. That's perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. Cyber Value. No. Real Estate Developer. Not yet. Software Engineering Accelerator. Next Level Web Design. Ooh, this looks good. I'm looking for stuff that has to do with business, right? Like I don't just want a bunch of people building websites or whatnot. I want people selling stuff so that I could see what their problems are. Okay, but anyway, what do we got? So it looks like one of these communities actually just allows us to read through all the posts without actually being part of it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to read through this and then I'll make my determinations afterwards. So what am I looking for first and foremost? Well, first of all, actually, I am looking for wins posts. So it looks like there's a category called wins where this guy, Tyler, just sent 900 cold DMs in the last 2 days to close 2 deals. That's pretty sweet. So I like that. Looks like he's also using automation, which is very cool. Nice. There's a lot of questions about prices. What sort of price should I charge, right? What platforms am I using? So what I'm looking for really, to be honest, is I'm looking for questions. So I see that there's a questions category. I'm just going to pump through here and I'm looking for questions because I want to see what sort of questions that like the average website developer has. And this is just going to teach me more about the niche. I'm going to learn more about how to come up with a service that might effectively answer some of these problems. So what's a big question I see? How do I find clients? Obviously. How to get clients? Obviously. How to get hired? Obviously. Agency versus freelancing? That's interesting. What sorts of clients should I pick? National, international, different platforms? How did you get your first client? That's big. How to acquire new clients. So hopefully you guys are seeing that, one of the main issues here is acquiring your new clients. And so like a big problem statement, first of all, and this honestly, really got to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. But like some real client problems are basically all these niche or more clients. Okay. So actually let's phrase this as a problem. Not enough clients. We want more clients. That's problem number one across basically every niche. So that's a good problem that we could solve with a couple systems already that are coming to mind, but I'm not going to stop there. Let me do a little bit more research. Outsourcing, got too many clients. Doesn't seem like a very common issue to me. Legal registration, go high level website, people asking about specific design stuff. Very cool. To niche down or not. SEO is cool. We could do like an SEO system. We could do some sort of like add-on for website developers where it's like, hey, after you design or build a website, you could also just like generate 100 blog posts for them completely free of charge or something like that. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like that idea a lot. I think that could have some merit, like content generation for clients, right? Clients saying SEO. Yeah, really glad I found that. I was not expecting this at all. Let's just do website devs first, and then I'll do the other ones. Okay, so obviously a little bit of business knowledge helps you do this faster, kind of understand the main problems that customers are suffering from. But I'll be honest, a lot of people have tried to automate this step. I think that automating the steps is really the silliest thing that you could do. Like you actually understanding a customer problem is directly correlated with your success as a business owner. Like if I think about just the number one skill or handful of maybe top 3 skills that have made me a successful business owner. The biggest one is probably just understanding customer problems, like reading through people bitching and moaning about their customer problems and stuff like that. So this is not something that I would automate. Like, sure, maybe I'd ask ChatGPT, what are some problems businesses face? But I wouldn't just take all that at face value. I'd actually go really deep. I'd actually like try and drink directly from the faucet, if that makes sense, as opposed to take some opinion or whatnot. Go and actually find problems that people are facing. So anyway, I found 2, right? We found not enough clients, content generation for clients, SEO or whatever. That's good enough. I'm going to move on to the next niche, which is video editors. I'm just going to type in video. This is interesting. We'll open up that one. Scale with video. Ooh, that's interesting. Educate with video. Get started with video. Maybe we'll go editing. Editing lab. Editing layer. Editology. Short form training. Could I type in videography? How about that? That's cool. Wedding filmmaker. I guess you got to pay $1,000 for that. So I think I'll leave that out for now. Wealthy filmmakers. Cool. That sounds good. All right. Let me just see how many of these I have direct access to right off the top. Looks like I only have one, Art FX. The rest of these, I got to click a join button. So just for the purposes of brevity, I'll just go through here and we'll start. So everybody's talking about cold outreach again. That's cool. Looks like most of this community is this person Arthur just posting, so this is not seeming like a very good community to start, if I'm honest. Usually you'll find that like some of these are just people's business models. They're like building a funnel. Okay, so some people are actually asking for videographers in specific areas. Okay, people are asking some pretty basic questions. People are advertising. Well, I got fired from working with Gary Vee at VaynerMedia. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so color grading presets. That sounds like a pretty interesting problem. So a lot of people want templates, out-of-the-box templates and stuff, right? I wonder if I could solve that with automation. You know, what are the simplest templates to get or whatnot? Hey, I'm an automation agency. I work specifically with video editors, and I wanted to give you a big list of all the best LUTs and templates and stuff right out of the box. That might work. I'm not entirely sure. People are posting their videos. I'm not seeing too many problems here. Okay, so I'm not seeing much success here. I'm just going to go to Reddit video editor subreddit. Let's try that. See, there's video editing here. There's editors. There's video editors, video editing requests. Let me just jump through this really quickly. See what we got. I'm really outing my myself here, LeBlanc mains. Yep. Been crushing some league. I'm just going to go to top really quickly. Just see top posts for today. Alt tab all these. People are looking for specific help. So this looks more technical. Probably not what I'm going for. Let's move on. This looks more like almost political. Here we go. Video editors. This is like a smaller community about video editing. Longtime editors struggling to find freelance clients. Let's open up this thread, read a little bit. I think I'm doing so much wrong. Cool. Let's see what this person's worried about. Obviously, there are a few people that are just talking shop and how do you make a living? That's a great question. Cool. We should be able to get some juice here. Help with my portfolio. Okay. Full-time position. Finding clients has never been my forte. It's a wrap. This person's just talking about how tough it is. That's actually pretty good though, because when you have really negative Nancy's like this, it a lot of the time like shows the fears that the niche is facing. Even TV, it's over because of automation. Well, that's unnecessary. How do you make a living with this? Yep. No jobs right now. Okay. Well, that one is obviously not enough clients. That's the main one. What you'll see is they're all kind of together, right? I mean, I already know that this is a major problem for real estate, so I'll just write not enough clients as well. Just insanely clear. All right. Well, yeah, that's all I got for video editing. If you joined all of these communities, kind of went really deep into them, I'm sure you'd find significantly more concrete problems. Let's now do real estate. Your real estate agents, global real estate agents. That looks great. Real estate, that's $999 a month. Probably not going to work for me. Let's just filter this so for English. I don't think we can filter by free, can we? No. Okay, another issue I'm seeing is busy work. When I say busy work here, I mean kind of mundane things like following up. A lot of the time, real estate agents, they make their money just by being in front of people enough, like at the right times, that when somebody that they know is interested in buying or selling a property or something, it's like, oh, I just remember hearing about XYZ person 2 days ago. Let me send them a message. So I think following up is probably a big problem point, and just basic busy work and whatnot. I could probably come up with some systems to solve that. All right, so as you guys could see, am I like a rocket surgeon here? Niching super hard down into the specific issues that these guys are facing right off the get-go? No, I don't need to have the best problems right off the bat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking to customers. I'll worry about figuring out like the nuanced natures of all of these problems afterwards, okay? We're just going to front load the actual conversations with the business owners. We'll worry about everything after we're already up and running. So this is sufficient for me, okay? Now after this, I'm going to have to come up with some high demand AI services now. I have the problems. So why don't I just list some services off the top of my head that I think could solve things, okay? So we'll have 3 categories, and I'm just going to aim for 2 services each, and they don't necessarily have to solve these problems one for one. We'll just come up with 2 each for 3. So like, let's just do website devs / creative agencies. All right, so the first major problem, as we saw, was not enough clients, right? So if not enough clients is the main problem, well, what's the solution to not enough clients? Well, one of the simplest things that I sell all the time is cold outreach system. There are a variety of different cold outreach systems you could sell, but I don't even know what the shape of this is going to look like. I'm just going to get some cold outreach systems in front of my customers, and I'll worry about exactly how to do it afterwards, okay? But yeah, cold outreach systems are really big. When I say cold outreach systems, I just mean like scraping systems, email systems that allow us to pump things into like a cold email platform, basically the same system I'm going to be building to get myself clients, and then pitching that to other people. So very meta, very much like using cold outreach to sell cold outreach for people, but it works really well. Next one is content generation for clients. So I could absolutely see, some instant content generation system for the websites that you just make for a client. Like, think about this, how cool it would be. It's like you already make websites as part of your whole thing. Imagine if you just had a single form or like a button that you could press or something that just immediately generated you 100 blog posts. And then you just took that, added that to your client website, and you said, hey, by the way, I already loaded this up with 100 blog posts for you, right? To simulate activity or whatnot. Very simple and easy add-on, which I think would probably be pretty cool. And I'm interested in seeing how I might sell that. So these look sufficient for me. I'm not going to think too hard on it. What we need to do after this is transform this into like an offer for cold email, but that's okay. Let's do the second niche now, which is videography. This might take me a little bit more time, but let's say right off the bat, I'm just going to sell cold outreach systems to these as well, because we just saw how do we get clients? How do we get clients? We can't get clients. Clients don't exist. This whole business model is dead. So I'd probably sell some cold outreach systems to them too. These cold outreach systems in particular will take a different approach than website devs though. It's going to look a little bit different. I think we could probably do like a search intent system, which is like a job scraper basically. So, we'll scrape a bunch of jobs for people that are looking for a videographer to become in-house. And then we're just going to add them to some system and then we'll send them out to people that are hiring for that role. And we're basically going to say, hey, I know you're looking for somebody to hire for X, Y, and Z role. I thought it'd be a little proactive. So I'm actually just going to send you a bunch of value right up front. I'm happy to do like a sample edit for you or something like that. 100% free. Just send me over source material and what you want and I'll whip it up for you within 24 hours. This would be a really good cold outreach system. I've seen a lot of people do something similar. It's actually how one of my video editors sold me. Okay, so what else are we going to do? Videography. We could probably sell clipping. So I see a lot of long form videos coming in. What we could do is we could offer videographers a way to very quickly and easily clip, or maybe they upload the transcript of the video to my service and then my service automatically identifies timestamps. What else do video editors usually do? Exports, that's a big chunk of their workflow. Templates and whatnot, that's a big issue. I really like the idea of a clipping service for long form. Let's say a video editor is working with somebody for long form. We could very quickly and easily repurpose all that and make social media posts for them. So we'll either do clipping service. A clipping service is literally just something like Opus Clip or Veed or Goldcast. And what these are you basically chunk in like a long video and then it just generates a bunch of short form ones. Same thing with Veed. Pump in a long video, generates a bunch of short forms ones. Same thing with Opus, right? Pump in a long one, makes a bunch of clips like this automatically. So that's pretty cool. There's obviously a lot of value there. So I think we should probably do something like that. Clipping service and or let's do like a content generation, or maybe we make a bunch of Instagram posts or something about it. Okay, and now let's do real estate. And what did we have? We had not enough clients, so we could totally do some sort of email scale-up system. This is going to depend. Real estate's a little nuanced, right? There's like the buy side, there's the sell side. So I might be selling a buy side system, but then that'll have like a fundamentally different meaning or purpose than a sell side system. Like if you think about it, a sell side system is basically like, how do we get listings in front of as many people as possible? So we could build a system that like, I don't know, automatically post it on a bunch of real estate agency websites or whatnot. That seems kind of lame to me, and I don't really think I could realistically do that in a short period of time. So we could look for people to sell homes. Maybe what we do is we set up a pipeline for real estate agents that are looking to work with people on the sell side. And then all they do is they just supply the leads. And then this system, has really high response rates and everything's like super high quality. I think probably some sort of like email B2C system would make sense. I don't know about sourcing the leads, but sending them out. And then I think we could probably do some sort of automated follow-up / reactivation system for them. Again, these are all off the top of my head. We're going to see how these evolve. But as a first pass, that looks pretty good to me. Do I know exactly how all this stuff's going to end up? Nope. I'm just pulling some stuff out of my ass. I'm like pretty certain. I'm like 50 to 70% certain. Yeah, I think this might have some value for some people. That's enough for me. I'm just going to put it on a page, put together some offers, send it out to a bunch of people, and I'm going to hear their feedback first before I try and plan for every eventuality. Okay. All right. So now that we have a bunch of these systems, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up lead scraping and outreach infrastructure that I'm going to use to source people in all of these audiences. And then once I've done this, I'm actually going to go and I'm going to copyright and then start sending out or blasting out outreach. So we're actually getting pretty far already. And I think it's only been, like 25 or 30 minutes or something? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So setting up lead scraping and outreach infrastructure. Well, there are a variety of different ways to do this. Here's what I'm thinking of doing, okay? Just going to go all the way down here to make it a lot easier. What I'm thinking of doing is any sort of lead scraping or sourcing system is first we have to source leads, then we have to scrape the leads. And then nowadays, what we need to do is we also need to enrich the leads with some sort of personalization. Okay. So it's sort of like a 3-step process. So what I'm going to do, since I'm doing cold outbound, is I'm going to start by sourcing leads. And there are a variety of different ways to source. Easiest one is definitely Apollo right now. And I don't know how long Apollo is going to work, so I'm just going to hop on that for sure. But you could also do like Sales Nav, which is LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You could also do like job posts. That's pretty big. A lot of people doing job posts. After that, you scrape using a service, usually like Applify or some custom scraper you built. By the way, you could also do like a directory or something. If you find a specific directory of people, maybe a directory website, you could build your own custom scraper, scrape them, and your lead list would be way higher. But we're going to scrape these using Applify. And then at the end, I'm just going to enrich these. The way I'm going to enrich them is I'll probably like AI personalize, but I'm not going to AI personalize all of them. I'm actually going to just like try getting by with, procedural variables, and then AI personalization after. And then kind of the fourth step is we need to pump them into like infrastructure. So we actually need to send, right? So the main sender that I'm going to be using today is called Instantly. Instantly is just a very quick and easy way to get up and running with mailbox infrastructure. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to source a bunch of leads, scrape them, and then enrich them first. That's kind of like, what we're going to do now. Then in a few minutes, after I'm done with that, I'm going to start uploading them to a platform instantly. And then after I'm done with that, I'll actually queue them up and we'll start sending the emails, okay? All right, so very first thing I'm going to do is I need to start sourcing leads. I see there are a variety of ways to do so. I'm probably just going to do Apollo because that seems pretty easy to me. Maybe I'll do job post too, we'll see. But how would I go about this? I would actually just go apollo.io. I'm just going to create 3 audiences here. First are going to be website development agencies or creative agencies. The second are going to be videographers. And the third are going to be real estate agencies. And you can see, I work with creative agencies a lot, which is why I literally pumped in the search term. This is from the last time I ran a similar search. So creative agencies sound pretty good to me. Maybe what we should do is we should have creative agency, and then we could also add a term website here. Yeah, I could probably do that. I wonder if I type in creative agency and website, maybe like website developer. I wonder if that would work. Maybe website agency, because that's only 51 people. Let's see, that's 54 people. Anything else that's limiting my search? How am I going to do this? I just type in website. We have 581, which is pretty cool. But as you see, a lot of these search results are like music website, outsource website, website factory. If I type in agency, what happens? If I type in agency, we have 24,200. Connective agency, MI6 agency, labeled agency. I wonder if we could add an additional filter. No, I don't want to generate an output for each record. Let me see here exactly what I would do. Keywords I would use, website. So now I should be scraping agencies or co-founders, partners at agencies that include the term website. And so now I have multiple levels here. Now what I'm going to do, just to determine that this is pretty good, and we're never going to get a perfect scrape or a perfect data source. What I'm going to do to make sure it's pretty good is I'm just going to open up this page. Notice how many results here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So let me just zoom in a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there are 10 results here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to like do this 2 or 3 times. I'm going to go through the 10 results, and I'm just going to see how many of these companies are actually companies I might want to work with my search terms. I'm aiming for like 80% plus. So let's open up all these and just see. Off the top of my head, is this search good enough that 80% of the leads I'm going to generate are probably companies I'm looking for? B2C digital marketing agency whose name is Inspired. Okay, we do state-of-the-art websites. We built a bunch of websites. Okay, great. DigiVortex is good, so we're 1 out of 10. This is Sydney Website Design Agency. Good, we're 2 out of 10. Full service marketing agency. Okay, I think we could probably pitch that. That's 3 out of 10. Web design agency, 4 out of 10. I don't know if these people do websites specifically. It looks like they're more of a creative agency. They do storytelling. I'm not entirely sure, to be completely honest, but I think, I think they're probably sufficient. Let me check their websites and see. Wow, this is very clean. Oh, they're in Calgary too. That's where I live right now. Website. Could I see maybe some of their work that they've done? Okay. Yeah. I'm seeing media production, business development, okay. Branding, branding probably has a lot to do with the website. Okay, they made a new website. Okay, so these guys do websites as well. Perfect. That's 5 out of 10. Okay, this is like a brand agency tomorrow. I don't know if this is sufficient, but I'm just going to type in a website. Oh, very clean, very clean. I'm looking for the term website because I want to make sure that they make websites. If they don't make websites, this would not make any sense. Unfortunately, one thing that on a meta level, a lot of website design agencies are doing is they're branding themselves as not website design agencies now. They're like, we're multidisciplinary creators. We're branding experts. We're architects of your vision, right? It's not like actual website. When I see stuff like rebuild our core business, though, odds are that's probably a website. So I'm going to say yes to that one. Full service marketing agency. Okay. Labeled agency. I feel like I might have just doubled up on this and got 2 of these links, but I said that they were good. This is a website agency, web agency. Okay, so realistically, I'm thinking like 9 out of 10 of my first search is fine. 90% is pretty solid to me. I could go through more of this, but just off the top of my head, this is probably enough. So I know that this lead list here, this source is probably sufficient. Okay, so very first thing I'm going to do, let me just make sure I'm nice and organized here. I'm going to go right over here. Then I will paste this in. This is just going to be my little scratch pad here. This is going to be my website. website agency's URL, okay? Because the way you do this with Apollo is you just get the URLs. All right, now that we have the number 1 done, why don't we go number 2? And this is good. We have 4,294 leads. Like generally you want like more than a couple thousand to run a test on. And we can get way more leads than this if we're smart. Let me see. What else are we going to do? So we need videography, right? I wonder if I could just run the exact same hack here with the term videography instead. Now, odds are if we do this, we're probably going to get some duplicate records because some of these website agencies are also going to do videography. Yes, I already see the Tadpole agency. We already saw that labeled. So already 20% of these are already the same agency, right? So we're going to have some overlap. But videography is not the best term. Let me actually select this everywhere. So, we do video. If I just do video, odds are they're going to do some videography, right? Okay, so 4,188. And yeah, the labeled agencies with us as well. That's 1 duplicate. Tadpoles, that's another duplicate, but that's among 30. I think this is probably going to be fine. So honestly, I'm just going to open up a bunch of these again. 4, 5, yep, labeled 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Double check. Animated explainer videos. This one is not in English. Videos. Okay, videos. Videos, cool. Yeah, these guys are the Calgary ones. I don't know about Agency 360. Video. Storytelling with video. Okay, that's good. Reasonable. Video, cool. These guys do video too. Video, cool. They do video as well. Video. I'm not seeing anything here, so let me just jump in, double check that this is actually something that's produced. Man, what a clean website. I love these guys. Video. I'm not seeing any video here. If I type in portfolio, I see they have a show reel. They probably do videos. Yeah, I mean, if you do, motion graphics, looks like it. Okay, good. Miracle Video Agency. Again, this is in Italy. I'm not really targeting Americans here. I just wanted to keep this reasonably broad. But yeah, video. Cool. So this is another audience I'm going to pump in. We'll worry about the specifics of this later. So I've mentioned, we will now just do a videographers, videography agencies. Let's do that /editors. All right, and now we just have one more, which is real estate agents. So let me just copy this, paste this down here because I want nice sizing, and then I'll just call this real estate agents. I don't want agencies. Agencies are big. So we'll just go real estate agent. I'm going to remove video here. And let's see how many of these are real estate agents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Life improvement platform? Nope. Nope. Okay, no, this doesn't really look like good search. This is an example of one that is not good. It's probably because the job title, right? So I'm thinking we're probably gonna have to add like agent or maybe real estate agent. Maybe we could do like real estate broker or something like that. Well, real estate broker is not exactly the same, but should be sufficient. Okay, so as you see, we're getting way too many here. We're getting like 258,000. This is Greg W. at Wallace Real Estate. This is a good sign for me because it's, you know, this sort of person we're going for, like solo or head owner of real estate brokerage. But yeah, we are getting way too many results to really do anything with this. So why don't I go to number of employees? Why don't we just look for people in the 1 to 10 range and then maybe 11 to 20 range? This will keep the companies pretty small. Let me think. Are there other signals that we could use? Industry and keywords obviously need to be real estate, right? 41,000. We could chunk this down substantially further. Why don't I go location? We'll go United States because they tend to have more money and because we could just get this 41,000 down to like 20 something thousand. Okay. And yeah, still too many, so we're going to need fewer. Okay, I ended up filtering this down to about 16,000. This is still a little too many for me. And some of these work with like big corporations like Remax and so on and so forth. So they actually have limited control and autonomy over the money that they could spend for marketing. Still, I don't really see this getting much better than that. So I'm just going to call it here and put in my little real estate URL. Okay. All right. So now we have 3 Apollo URLs. These all look pretty reasonable. What do we need to do with these? Well, we need to actually scrape these, right? It's one thing to have a URL, another thing to actually scrape these URLs. So I'm going to pump all of these into Apify now. And I'm just going to run 3 manual runs. The one that I use is called Apollo code_crafter, just because it's like $1.20 per 1,000 leads. And when I say $1.20 per 1,000 leads, I don't actually mean that we are generating 1,000 leads here with email addresses. We realistically generate like 2/3 of those. Okay, so let me see. Looks like we can only run this once at a time. So I'm just going to run this 3 separate times simultaneously. And I'm going to look for 2,000 leads first. Okay. So 2,000 for each. So just jumped on Apify, make an account. I'm at like a pretty high usage tier, but I think you can get by with substantially less than this. And then it's just $1.20 per 1,000. So not really breaking the bank here. That's the first run. This is going to be my videographer run. Let's go here and then save and start. Then I'm going to go to my real estate agents, and then I'm just going to open up a new instance of this and then run it. Save and start. And now what we should have, if I go back to my actors, we should have 3 runs running simultaneously. Okay, so we have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Now we just need to wait until these finish, basically. Because they're 2000s, probably going to take us like 5 minutes or so. Okay, and these are now just getting to completed. This one is 600, this one is 1300. So I'm just going to set everything up for the first 2000 run, and then as I'm doing it, the rest will finish. If I go to output here, I'm going to export all 2000 results. There are a lot of fields, okay? Tons of different fields. Realistically. And you guys are going to see that when I import all these fields, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be like 1,000,001. Ideally, we wouldn't have that many, but it is what it is. I'm just going to download all these, show you guys what I mean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3. First of all, I don't actually remember what that specific export is, so I'm going to export it now. Let's see. I'm going to append to current sheet import. I'm just using Google Sheets, just the easiest way to do it. And we're going to start by doing all this manually. So what is this? Yeah, okay, so this is the real estate. So I'm just going to have one sheet. I'll call it, actually, I guess I could just do all this in one, right? Leads. I'll just call this leads. In fact, let's just go here for my own organizational purposes. Just go watch me start and sell. There you go. That'd be good. Here we'll go real estate. I'm just not going to use spaces. It'll make my life easier. And then what I want is I just want to get rid of all the fields that don't really mean anything to me. Okay, so first of all, I want to count up the number of emails. So there's 1,000 in this list, so we actually only ended up about 50%. Second of all, I want to delete all the fields that don't really mean anything to me. So realistically, what fields don't mean anything to me? Well, do you see how much space there is here? All these columns, most of them are freaking empty as hell. What we want is we want to get rid of the vast majority of them. So I'm thinking there's 2 big swaths that I'm going to get rid of. Okay. The first is I'm going to get rid of everything after from AC all the way over to WH. Okay. And I'm going to do that for all 3. And then I'm also going to prune a couple others. This way, it'll just be a lot more easy and manageable for us. You guys will see what I mean. If I'm to pump this into some sort of email enrichment service, I just kind of have to do this. So what was it? AC to WH. Just going to copy and then delete. So 500 columns are being deleted. Okay, this is a lot smaller now, a lot more manageable, right? It's still pretty big, but it's a lot more manageable. Next thing I'm going to do is I'll go to personal emails. So BI, go to CE. There you go. So I think it was AC to WH and then BI to CE. Is that right? Hopefully that's right. Anyway, at the end of it, we want like sheets that just all look the same because we're going to pump this into an icebreaker generator. We're basically going to have AI tell us a little bit about each person, and then we'll use that to improve the strength of the outreach. Okay, so this one is now done as well. Looks like it finished with 2002. So I'm now going to download this. Same energy, CSV. Go over here to sheet 2. Then I'm going to import, go upload. There's 1,000,001 ways to do this, by the way. This is just how I personally like doing it. Then I'm going to append. That way it just goes into this one. And then there are a lot of leads here and a lot of fields, so it might take a second. Okay, so AC all the way to WH. It's going to be pretty far. This one has way more, actually. Check this out. This one has a ton more. I think the reason why it works out like this is because basically LinkedIn, where these guys get all their data from, just stores all of the employment fields that you have. So yeah, this one actually isn't, we need to go even further than this. So never mind, you can't just copy the same things. I think you got to go all the way to here. So this one goes to ZS, annoying. Anyway, that's that. And then let me just go back to my Polyscraper, grab my last run, which is this one here. Go output, I'll export all these, download these. And sorry, which one was this? Art director? Is this videography? I think this might be videography. Yeah, video agency. So we'll just go video agency. And this last one will be website agency. I'm going to import, upload. Okay, and I'm just going to do a little bit of reorganizing because I just want my fields arrayed linearly. I'm going to want the first name, then I'm going to want the last name, then I'm going to want like the company name, then I'm going to want a couple of other pieces of information. So I'm just going to reset these so these all basically have the same information, the same columns. This is necessary for me to run the automation. I'll show you guys in a second. Okay, I have all these set up just for my own sanity. I'm just going to make all of these fields about the same width. That's my Canadian coming out. This looks good. So as you can see, we have first name, last name, headline, employment industry, industry, city, employment history, industry, city, country, email, right? So we have all of the fields that we will realistically need. And what I'm going to do now So I'm just going to pump all of this into a service, well, my own service that I'm going to whip up in a second, to generate an icebreaker. So I'm just going to take all this information and I'm going to use it to generate, some AI icebreaker. For final confirmation check, how many emails do we have? We have about 1,100 for each. This is 1,026. The other one was 1,233. This other one's whatever. So I'm just going to run 1,000 across all three of these. So 1,000 for real estate, 1,000 for video agencies, 1,000 for website agencies, and we're going to see where we land. Of note, I'm not verifying or validating my domains. So I'm not just using the verified ones here. You can, and I think in many cases you should, but I find that as a first go, right off the top, I just like to bust out as many emails as possible, not make any assumptions as to the quality of my data. And then after I run at least that first campaign, if something is like severely underperforming, or if I do have high bounce rates or really piss poor deliverability, then I make my little changes afterwards. But for a first bet, I'm not even going to worry about that yet because I want this to be simple and nowhere near as complicated as I think most other people make it out to be. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an additional column here called icebreaker. We'll just do column I for all of these, okay? Icebreaker, then one more, icebreaker. And I'm going to have AI go through and then generate icebreakers for all these. What I'll be using to make my life really simple is I'm going to use make.com, which is a service that is basically no code, one of the foundational no code platforms, similar to N8N, similar to Zapier and all these other ones. Realistically, if you're getting into AI and automation, you have no idea where to start, I recommend that you start with this. It's a much easier and faster way of going about things. What we're going to want is we're going to want the, search rows. Go search rows to start. Then I'm just going to select the right account, and I have to make this accessible to that account. So I'll go Nick at leftclick.ai. I'm going to give myself editor access, no need to notify me. And the sheet I'm going to be looking for is watch me start and sell an AI service in just X hours, right? So I'm going to go down to search method, using the wrong account here, one sec. Then I'm going to grab the ID up here at the top, paste that in. It's saying that it's empty, I think just because of a bug. So let me retry this. The first one is going to be real_state, okay? Not entirely sure why I keep on getting empty for this. Might be a bug. For now, I'm just going to return 5 because I just want to make sure this actually works. So let me run this module, get 5. Cool. So it got the data. Basically what I've done is I've just confirmed I can get the data from my real estate sheet here and then pump it into make.com, which is good. After we've searched through it, we'll just call this icebreaker generation. After we've searched through it, we can now build out the rest of this flow, which is going to be pretty simple and pretty straightforward. We're basically just going to take all of the information in. Then we're going to send a message over to GPT. Probably use 4.0 for this one, just for cost purposes. Then I'm going to have it generate icebreakers for all of these. So let's go GPT-4. Let me just see, actually, what's the model prices? OpenAI. Let's see the cheapest one right now. These are good, but they're quite expensive. This is 2 million. This is 40 cents. This is 1. Okay. Oh, wow. That's crazy. So this one is affordable model balancing speed and intelligence. I'll probably use this one, GPT 4.1 mini, I think. All right, 2 million, 1 million input tokens. I don't know. We'll try it. 1 mini right over here. And then here is where I'm going to go and I'm going to design my prompt. So you're a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. I always like to have a developer system prompt first. And then here is where I'm actually going to, your task is to take as input a bunch of personal information about a prospect, and then design a customized one-line icebreaker to begin the conversation. You'll return this icebreaker in JSON using this format. I'm going to say icebreaker, and then rules, write in a Spartan, how do you pronounce this? Laconic. Laconic. Wow, interesting. We're in a Spartan laconic tone of voice. Weave in context wherever possible. Here is a bunch of information about me that you can make these icebreakers more personalized. Then I'm just going to list a bunch of stuff about me, and then down here, weave in context with my own personal information wherever possible. Keep things very short and follow the format. Hey, name. We'll go new line. Really respect X and love that you're doing Y. Thought I'd connect. Wanted to run something by you. That should be a good one. Okay, keep things very short and follow the provided format. Leave in context my own personal information wherever possible. Deniability, possible. Try and imply that I like, do, believe. Oh no, did I just delete the whole thing? That's brutal. Okay, I'm gonna write the whole thing again. It's not gonna be the same. That sucks. Be careful with the escape commands, ladies and gentlemen. That is tough. Do not want to escape. Take as input a bunch of information about a prospect and then generate a customized one-line icebreaker to imply the rest of my communique is personalized. You'll return your icebreakers in JSON format, icebreaker, and then here I'm going to say, hey, name, love, thing, also a fan of other thing. Wanted to run something by you. Cool. Roles right in a Spartan. Ooh, be very careful with that. That's why. Keep things short and punchy. Keep things short, let's say. Imply familiarity wherever possible. If you see an opportunity, i.e., if you see an opportunity to imply that I like the same things, believe the same things, or want the same things as they do, go for it. Sure, that should probably be okay. Let me save this time. Learn my lesson. And I'm going to show advanced settings. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to do a bunch of examples for it. So we're going to go JSON object, parse JSON response. Next up, I will do user. I'm going to provide some personalized information about the prospect. So what am I going to do? We'll just spam it all like in this. 1, 2, 3, this, we'll do this. We'll do this. Okay. So we're just going to add all this information in. And then next, the assistant's going to have some personalized stuff. But we don't want this to be we actually want this to be the last message. Before this, we actually want a couple other examples. So I'll actually just generate one. We are going to have an example of this exact format. Put it right here. I'll fill this in with some actual information, and then we'll have the icebreaker here. And we'll just do this like twice. And then in this way, we're going to have a model of what we're saying. So the value here is you're actually just reaching out to people as if you were doing totally custom outreach. So let me see, is there any other information we can get about now that I'm thinking about it, I don't actually have too much information about the company, right? It's like a company one-liner or something. Otherwise, we're really going to be riding the plausible deniability train here. No organization description, huh? Oof, brutal. Yeah, you don't really get too much information. Oh, we got some personal emails too. Interesting. Huh. Well, actually, I didn't even realize, but we're getting so many personal emails. Instead of just using this email column, we should probably concatenate the two. I bet you if I did this, if I merged these two, I might even get more. It's been a while since I've used the personal field here, but like, I don't know if Apollo's gotten a little bit better at this over the course of the last little while or what, but that's crazy. Look at that. That's juicy. That is a very juicy column. I'm actually going to go back here now to where it says email. Paste this in and like check this. Ooh, man, there's a ton of emails here. Tons of emails. Okay. Well, I got to say, most of these are looking pretty good. If I go down to the very bottom of this 2000 list, if I go all the way up here now, we actually get 1,500 emails instead of just, and some of these are like Hotmails and Gmails. Now, some of these aren't verified, so I'm probably going to have like much higher bounce rates, but I feel like I should probably concatenate these two now that I'm thinking about it into just one email column, right? Basically, if they double up, then we won't put the same info, or maybe we will, who knows? Okay, let's add one more column. We'll go emails. Okay, so I'm just going to filter this, just sort A to Z. Should have all the emails now sorted. I don't like how this looks, so let me just do some spreadsheet magic here. I'm then going to cut this, paste this in here. Then we can actually just resort this based off A to Z. Now we should have all of the emails, right? Yes, we should have some more emails here. Okay, cool. I'm going to do the same for all the rest of these just to get some of those bonus emails that I might have missed. I think that's important. Okay, so yeah, we just leveled up and got a few more email addresses, which is nice. Now that we have all that stuff done, we should be able to do our icebreaker. So why don't I just start with some leads? Here, I'll just do some manual ones. Let's see. Let's do, So a couple things. I'm seeing some duplicates here. So we got to pre-process our thing. Actually, no, we don't. Sorry, Instantly will automatically do this for us. But now that I'm sorting these manually like this, I could tell there's a fair number of duplicates in here. The reason why might be because we have different emails. So let me just double check this. No, we can deduplicate this. So columns to analyze, the only one that I really want is H, email. Just remove all instances of duplicates under H. So it looks like we had some duplicates. Might have just been because of how I processed that. Let me just double check. Same thing here. Okay, let's now replace this just with some real data here. Then we'll copy over the headline. Then we'll do the employment history. Then we'll do the industry. Then we'll do the city. And we'll also do the country. Okay. So basically, I'm going to feed in this, and then I want some personalized snippet as a result of this. So I wanted to say something like, hey, Ina, the reason this is valuable is you can then make abbreviations as to the company. So instead of Maki Agency, we could just say Maki, which makes it seem as if it's like custom written. We could also play around with like the capitalization and stuff. I'm not going to do that, but I'll say, hey, Anna, I'll add 2 new lines here. So it jumps down. And I'll say, love what you're doing at Maki. Also doing some outsourcing, offshoring right now. Wanted to run something by you. Cool. That looks pretty good to me. What are we getting from here? We're getting it perceivably blunt with the love what you're doing at Maki. We're also getting, if somebody were to scrape this, they would say something, love what you're doing at insert company name here. But if it's just Maki, it seems a little bit more personalized. And then this is like an exact variable, outsourcing, offshoring. So I don't know if I should really do this. So maybe I'll just say also doing some outsourcing right now. Wanted to run something by you. That looks pretty good to me. Okay. So we have one example right now. So what I'm going to do now, keeping in mind this is an exact duplicate of some data that's already in here. So I'm just going to run this on 3, and then I'm going to see how good it is. On 3 of my, what is this? Is this real estate, or what did I do? Websites, or just double check real estate. Okay, let's run 3 and let's see how this goes. All right, we just finished the 3 icebreaker generations. Notice Blue Edge and Boynton Beach, been around South Florida real estate too, wanted to run something bad. That seems pretty realistic. It's not the worst. Okay, I don't really like that one. Okay, well, I mean, like for the most part, this is good, but it's not sticking to our formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down, reduce the temperature drastically, just have it try and stick to the exact formula that I'm doing here. Okay. Use the above format when constructing your icebreakers. Let's run this again. Let's see if this is a little bit better. Location isn't super important. Just want the... Okay, this is perceivable. Like I'm not selling real estate, but this is perceivably, there's like a lot of heavy on the implication here. I'm working in real estate around here, right? It's like, well, I'm not actually selling. Also a fan of finding the right fit. Okay, well, that kind of sucks. It's pretty bad. If I got this, I'd be like, Main real estate's a grind. Yeah, no, I don't like this. We're going to have to give it a couple more examples. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go over here. Let me just adjust the prompt a little bit. Maybe I'll just say, make sure to use the above format. Let's tweak this one more time. Let's see if that is sufficient to get us a 3 out of 3 on the score. If so, I'll scale it up, do 10, and then I'll check. Okay. Okay, no. One more thing. If you see the ability to make an acronym, if you see an opportunity to shorten the company name, say, instead of XYZ agency, do so wherever possible. Say things like Love AMS instead of Love AMS Professional Services. More examples. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now let's just add one more example. So we're going to add 2, right? One's going to be user with the example. The other one's going to be assistant. I'm going to map the user back up here. Assistant, I'm going to map over here. Going to copy the assistant prompt, and now I'm just going to add one more user thing. Let's do this one here. This doesn't really give me too much information, so let's maybe do this. Let me just make sure the data's formatted right. Visionary agency leader. Ooh, fancy. Wow, okay. I find that stuff funny, that's all. Okay, information technology and services. Then we have the location. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Cool. And we'll say, hey, Adam, the human tech agency. So I should go, hey, Adam, what you doing? The human tech agency. The human tech. Let me just see if there's some. No, this is Dubai, right? Let's take a peek at this. Oh, guys on a tech. Okay, well, this guy's actually pretty huge. I was kind of crapping all over it because it's visionary. Yeah, wow. No, for sure. The human tech agency. Branding in particular is. Let's see. Just getting an agency off the ground, wanted to run something by you. Cool. That's plausible. Now let's give this a go on the top 3 hits. Okay, first result was much better. Hey, Aaron, love Blue Edge, also in real estate down here, want to run something by you. That's super cool. We've now finished the other 2. Don't like that it says elevation real estate, also fan of the San Fran market, wanted to run something by you. Yeah, that's not ideal, but honestly, it's not the worst. So what we're going to do is we're just going to force it to make acronyms, or not acronyms, shorten the names a lot more. We'll say shorten the company name wherever possible. Say XYZ Agency. XYZ Agency. Do the same with locations. San Fran instead of San Francisco. BC instead of British Columbia. ETC. Cool. All right, now that I've done this, what we need is one more to update a route. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go down this and then add the icebreaker right over here, okay? We're going to do this for real estate first, then we'll do this for websites, and then we'll do this for that other, yeah. So let me add the ID of this sheet right over here. I'm going to call this real_estate. The row number I'm going to grab from this. And the column range, we're just going to go A to Z. Okay, what do we want to update? Column I. The only thing we want to update with column I is the result icebreaker, okay? So now I have these 3. I'm going to give it one more test, see if it updates the column correctly. Cool, looks fantastic. Now that this is done, I'm just going to add one more step here, which is a filter. I'm going to filter to make sure that the icebreaker column is empty. So only return rows where the icebreaker does not exist. Then I'm now going to go, I don't know, how many we realistically want to do. Well, I guess we just do all of them, right? So I'm just going to go back here and then, yeah, we're just going to run it. So we're just going to try and go through all the way from the top to bottom of this whole sheet, which is going to be about 1,000 records, which should take us realistically, like, I don't know, a few minutes. Just returned. Now we're pumping through 1, 2, 3. Might take us a little bit longer than that, actually. 1,000 rows, maybe about 1 second per row. Might take us, yeah, about like 15 minutes or so. So while this is running, what I can actually do is I could just copy this and run this 3 times so that I could just do it all simultaneously. Now I'm doing this manually. Really, you do not have to be doing this manually. You can absolutely just automate this by pulling some system that just does it all kind of sheet by sheet, iterate all the sheets and then run it 1 row at a time. But I'm just on something of a time crunch today. So obviously I want to do this quickly. I'm just going to create 3 scenarios, 1 for each of these. One will be icebreaker videography. Another one will be website design or website agency. Then I'm just going to copy these 3. I'm actually going to run them all. Now I can do this simply because I have a lot of token rate limit. I have a very high rate limit. Not a lot of other people can because their rate limits aren't as high as mine, but I can actually feasibly run 3 of these. So 1 simultaneously with the other 2. And then I can just go through all of them, generating the icebreakers. So let's just double check that that looks good. Then we'll just go over here, double check that that looks good. Cool. And then I'm just going to make sure that all of these columns are good. Icebreaker, icebreaker, icebreaker. Nice. We should now just be able to send it. So I'm going to do 1. I'll do another. I'll do another one. And let's see how we're doing. Yep, these are all now running simultaneously. So I should be able to do all 3,000, if you think about it, in about 15 minutes or so instead. All right, just grabbed a cup of coffee. I'm ready to go. While these are generating the rest of the icebreakers, which, by the way, we could see if we just go to any one of these sheets. You can see these are filling in as we go along. I'm doing them alphabetical order, which is why it's Dennis, Derek, Teresita, so on and so forth. While all this stuff is happening, let's head over to Instantly and make these campaigns. I'm just going to call this one the title of this video. That looks good. Click continue. Now we have the Instantly campaign up and running. Instantly is the service we're using to send the cold emails just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Very quick and easy to get up and running with this. If I just show you guys the email accounts, you'll see that I've purchased a bunch of pre-warmed email accounts using their pre-warmed inbox feature. The benefit to this is it just takes me 0 time to get up and running. So instead of me having to spend 2 or 3 weeks warming up emails, I just clicked one button, spent a little bit of additional money, and then got myself these pre-warmed ones. They sell out of these pretty quick. So if you guys want them, definitely just head over here, select one of them, and then, buy both the domain and then also get the email addresses here. We're seeing a trend where female names perform better than male names, which is why there's so many females like Brittany, Kimberly, Allison, Caroline, Hazel, so on and so forth. So if you see any of that and you're wondering, what the hell I want a guy name, then don't sweat it. The way that you work with these, it's a different name, right? It's Audrey, it's Brittany, it's Brooke, it's Carly, it's Elizabeth. The reason why it's all these different names is because Instantly had to purchase the email inboxes ahead of time and warm them all up for us, right? So a big issue that a lot of beginners think is, well, like, dude, this isn't me. This is Brittany. This says Carly. That's all right. You have total plausible deniability when you send out the outreach. The important thing is not necessarily what the first name and last name on the email address is. The important thing is, like in practice, you will send outreach, people will be interested in wanting to work with you, and then you get them on a call, and then you'll show up on the call, and they'll just assume that it's either like a misspelling of your name or it's somebody else in the organization or whatever. So you guys don't actually have to worry about that if you end up doing the pre-warm mailbox route like I did, but you also don't have to do the pre-warm mailbox route. You could do something else. Anyway, let's actually spin this up. So I'm going to go to sequences. Now, sort of have like a 4-step copywriting structure for this. And I'll run you guys through it all line by line. But I also want you guys to know that I'm going to pull some of the templates directly from Maker School, and then I'm just going to make some slight edits to them, because the way that I like to do things is I like to just operate off of templates wherever possible. Like I've already built the wheel a bunch of times. No need for me to rebuild the wheel. It's just same thing with you. If templates exist that do 90% of what you want to do, just start with those templates, and then you just 10x your leverage, right? You got to go from 90 to 100% as opposed to 0 to 100. So, now that we've set up our lead generation infrastructure, let's just do this and not knock over my cup of coffee. It's time to create an irresistible offer using my copywriting formula. Hail to the yeah. Let us go to Maker School. I'm going to go down to my classroom, and then I think the templates I'm looking for are month 4. Yeah, here we go. There's a bunch of Instantly templates. These are the exact templates that I've used on a number of campaigns. You'll see that my rates weren't tremendous on these. Like, this one at a 4.8% reply rate still made me tons of money. This one down here was a little bit better, 11.6, but this wasn't directly as monetary, so it made me about the same. This one made me 6.1% reply rate. This one is probably what I'm going to use for a couple of these. But what I'm going to do to start is I'm just going to copy over one of these campaigns, and then I'm going to worry about, touching it up and making it look really sexy after, okay? This is going to be one. And actually, I should probably create one campaign for each, right? So I need to rename the campaign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this one more time. This one will be real estate. Okay. This other one here, videography. And this last one here is going to be website. Okay. Now I have 3 different campaigns. This is valuable because we're going to have 3 different audiences, right? And once I have that, now I can go through and actually, I'll open up 3 tabs, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm just going to copy this over. I'm going to go to sequences, paste, sequences, paste, sequences, paste. Cool. So now I have like a starter sequence. This is real estate. This one's videography. This one's website agencies. So now I just need to, change the language and whatnot. And I'm also just going to do a little bit of copywriting. So when I designed this template, it was before icebreakers and personalization were a thing, which is why we're seeing, I found you on LinkedIn. I thought I'd reach out. So realistically, this section over here, this is going to be replaced with the icebreaker. Back in the day, you didn't actually have the ability to do this, right? Or if you did, it was like very minimal or not very good. So you used to have to imply a bunch of things. Nowadays, you don't actually have to imply as much. You could get away with like some sort of AI personalization to make it seem like you've done some research on them, which they like. Anyway, in terms of the 4-step copywriting process, the very first thing that I like to do is I like to answer the question, is this spam? So the quickest and easiest way to answer the question, is this spam, is you just give them some personalization up front. That's what this first section is going to be. Okay. The second question is going to be like, okay, so who are you? If it's not spam, it's like, all right, we verified that. So who the hell are you? And that's what this section over here answers. And this is just sort of putting yourself in the mindset of the prospect, right? The third one is, why does it matter to me? Okay. And why it matters is because, well, I'm not just some random guy. Okay. It matters because I made people a ton of money with this before. Then the fourth one is, okay, well, then what next? Right? Like, now that we've verified all this, what do we do after this? What we do after this is we have some sort of offer or call to action. Offer and call to action. Okay. Simple 4-step copywriting formula. Don't feel like you have to copy my exact wording here or anything. As long as you just follow the structure, show them that it's not spam by personalizing it, answer the who are you question, and make it seem like it's you talking to them, not a faceless company talking to them. Justify why you're reaching out by basically saying, well, I made all this money for other people, or I've added all this value to other companies. Then finally, what next, down at the bottom. As long as you do this, you have 4 steps, you're pretty good, I would say, in most cases. So now I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to make some adjustments to it. I'm going to throw in some of my own little spin and magic. And then after that, I'm going to split test this with another one of my sequences, okay? Okay, so my real estate system is some sort of B2C system. So I just need an offer for a B2C system with some sort of deliverable. So what I'll probably say is, let's just make sure the icebreaker is good. So something like this. Hey, Dennis, love Prada, also working in real estate in St. George. Wanted to run something by you. Okay. Implication is I'm working in real estate. So it could be that I'm selling to real estate agents. It could be that I am a real estate agent myself. Whatever I'm doing, I'm just getting the click, and that's all that matters. Now that we've gotten the click, I need to identify myself. So if I had something like this, what would my copy be really? Wanted to run something by you. I'm just getting up and running. Okay, I'm just going to play around with it and we'll figure something out. Okay, first campaign looks good. Hey, name, love, whatever. Also working in whatever. Wanted to run something by you. I'm new to the buy side. Put something interesting together a few months ago that works well. To make a long story short, it's an outreach system that uses AI to generate buyer leads, around 30 per month on average. Costs just a few cents to run. I ran it for a similar position at agent in SD. I'm leaving this intentionally vague. And we made 125K in a little over a week. This is real. I know this is completely out of left field, but I'm fairly confident we could do something similar. Just wanted to see if there was interest. You're one of the first agents I found looking into it. Would this be a value to it all? Wouldn't cost you anything. I'd pay for it all myself up front. If you're open, we could work out some sort of deal, but up to you. Let me know your thoughts when you have a sec. Thanks. Sending account name. So yeah, a couple things. I mean, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to try it out. I think it'll work. I've ran some campaigns like this before and it's worked. But the key, in my humble opinion, is to just make it seem like you are writing directly to the other person. You're not like putting them in a sequence. You want it to make it seem very informal and like plausibly deniable. And hey, I was just looking into your stuff and I wanted to run something by you, see if there might be interest, right? That's basically the vibe. Obviously, it helps when you have some social proof. So I have social proof. I've run a very similar sort of campaign once for buyer agent and SD. So that was pretty cool. Made a ton of money very, very quickly. For them, not for me. I way underpriced. But yeah, if you don't have something like this, then obviously that's one of the reasons why at the beginning when I said pick a niche, do you have niches that you guys have some sort of experience and some sort of accomplishment, some sort of unique advantage? So yeah, I'm just going to copy this over and I'm going to do a very similar campaign for the other two. One of the reasons why I always recommend picking 3 niches is because once you've done the work for one, you just multiply the effort for the other 2. So let me do something similar now for videography for a product, and then I'll finally do one for website agencies as well. Okay, similar vibes. I actually used to run a videography company in Vancouver, BC, and I scaled it to about $10,000 a month. Now, I didn't use this system to get all of that revenue. In fact, I experimented with a similar system, but obviously it wasn't the same system. So we're going heavy on the implication here. But, again, we're using the plausible deniability. Hey, I put something interesting together a few months ago that works well. To make a long story short, it is blank, right? It's an outreach system that uses AI, and I find people hiring videographers agencies and then pitches them, costs just a few cents to run. All of this is true. Obviously, when they work with me, it's not going to cost them a few cents because they're going to pay me for it. But the actual system costs a few cents. And then, I'm kind of leveraging listen, I know this is totally wild, but, right? Which I find some self-deprecation is pretty valuable. It just makes things seem realer when you can insert like a sliver of almost doubt, right? Kind of clean. So that's the videography one. That one took me 30 extra seconds to put together. This is going to be the website agency. So this is going to be a really similar system, I think. Man, I've done the exact same thing for all of these niches, haven't I? Good God, I've worked in a lot of niches. I used to run a website design agency. So it was like your classic digital marketing agency, but we did websites. So I can get away with saying that, I've run similar systems for myself too. It's pretty funny. I got to be honest, after you've worked with one agency, you've worked with a lot of them. Very similar. Okay, anyway, so please bear with me, but I put something interesting together a few months ago that works well. To make a long story short, it's an outreach system that uses AI to find people hiring website devs, then pitches them around 30, then pitches them customized. What templates? Actually makes them the demo website. Run high converting. I ran something similar for myself back when I ran website agency. This was in Vancouver, BC, around 5 years ago. And I got to the point where we're making, well, this is well over $10,000 per month. No, this is completely out of left field, but I'm fairly confident we could do something similar. Just want to see if there's interest. You're one of the first people I found when looking into it. Would this be a value to you at all? Wouldn't cost anything. Pay for blah, 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 blah. Cool. That's sweet. Awesome. So that's campaign variant number 1. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add an additional variant. Okay. And this additional variant is now going to pitch like a fundamentally different thing, fundamentally different offer. And then I'm just going to run all these side by side. So what am I going to do for this one? I think I'm going to use this one here, which is this long shot creative agency campaign. I really like this one. This one was really neat. And then I think for this one, I'm going to weave in my own social proof, my own like YouTube channel. Because, it's obviously very big dick if you could say I have a YouTube channel which has several tens of thousands of subscribers. People really like that. Okay, follow-up reactivation system. That looks pretty cool. This is going to be the real estate one. So we'll have some personalization, which in this case is going to be an icebreaker. Let me just make sure that's right. Checking in on my system here. We've actually now finished and wrapped up all of them. I think this one is just hanging. That might be a bug, but that's good. Let's now put some stuff in there. Okay. Personalization. It is a long shot, but I work specifically with real estate agencies. Basically, I make custom follow-up systems, AI follow-up systems that nurture old leads on both the buy side, sell side. I run an Instagram channel that just hit 100,000. We're just talking about stuff like this. I know this is a long shot, but I work specifically with real estate agencies. Basically, I make custom AI follow-up systems that nurture old leads on both the buy side, sell side. I run an IG channel that just hit 100K followers talking about stuff like this. There are a lot of agents picking this up right now. This will be my social proof right now. And I've personally helped a few scale their monthly sales. Oh, I don't know any off the top of my head. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I'm probably going to have to find that out later. Like go through Maker School or Make Money with Make and see what sort of numbers have helped people. But I imagine it's probably at least 5 figures. Anyway, I'm fully aware we haven't talked prior to this, and you'll probably think this is cold outreach. I looked into, I think I'll borrow a section from the previous one. Outreach, I looked into, to be frank, you were one of the first agents I found when looking into it, but I think you'd be a good fit. Also, in my experience, client reactivation is super easy to implement. Do this for you, totally upfront at no cost. That makes sense for you? If so, do you want me to just go ahead, show you an example, or would you rather chat first? Kind of awkward over the phone, but we can chat if you're game. Get on a call. Okay, cool. All right, I think this is plausible. I don't think this is going to be as good as the initial one, but what are you going to do, right? Let's just use first name Q as my question. We'll call it there. I don't think I could use PS if you're not sure who I am or skeptical. Okay, anyway, okay. Let's just make sure I remember to fix that up later. Ooh, videography. What the hell am I going to do for videographers again? Let me think. Clipping. Oh, right, clipping. Yeah, that's good. Basically, I build systems that automatically build AI systems that automatically long-form videos like interviews, etc. to short clips for social media. I did this in my own agency once in copy, scaled revenue to 90K a month at around 50% margins. Oh, that's true, actually. Content, like video interviews to short clips for social media. Cost cents to run. But actually, I could actually totally use my own case study here because I'm specifying long-form content, right? Does cost cents to run. And I did do a similar system in 1 second copy. That's pretty neat. Similar service business, although obviously all about copywriting. Also is my own company, so I had a lot of latitude, but I want to see if I could build a similar thing for you, as I think your vertical is one where you could easily do more than 92K a month if you had a good pipeline. Also, in my experience, this is a really easy win to offer clients. Clients takes no extra work, and you can add a few $100 in perceived value for free. Cool. All right. We'll also go sending account name. Very sweet. And then over here, let me think. This website agency stuff, content generation systems for websites. I really like that angle. I really, really do. How can I make this? I mean, like, I know I'm meta stuff here. These are pretty long. I normally don't make campaigns this long, but at the beginning, I just like split testing a variety of approaches. So some I like to be really long and intense. Other ones I like to be really short and punchy. After I run the first blast, like where I actually run this on 100 emails a day probably, or something like that per vertical, I tend to iterate pretty quickly after the first week. And then I tend to just like test the next bout with like, I'll literally grab an email, I'll cut it in half, and then I'll just make it super punchy, and I'll see if that one works better or not. So I think what a lot of people are thinking is like, man, this is super long. How the heck is this going to work? Well, my tip for you is that once you understand the patterns, you can break the patterns a little bit, but you do have to understand what the patterns are. And that's sort of what I'm doing with the second pitch. Okay. So Q, and then this one here is going to be just like first name Q. Okay. So where the heck was I? Oh, and this is icebreaker, not personalization. I'm just forgetting all my variable names. Okay, so what do? I work specifically agencies. So wanted to run something by you. I know this is a long shot, but I work specifically with website design agencies. Basically, I built a system that lets you that upon creating a website for a client in whatever framework platform, lets you generate around 100 blog posts for that client for free. I ran a similar system in my own agency, scaled revenue 90K, though obviously all about copywriting. Also is my own company, but a low latitude. But I wanted to see if I could build out you, since in my experience is a really easy win to offer clients. It takes no extra work and add a few $100 and perceived value for free. Like you're going to deliver a website anyway. How much nicer would it look if it came preloaded with a bunch of blog posts? Anyway, that looks pretty good to me. Cool. Just going to run it. And honestly, yeah, no idea how good these are. No clue. I'm just going to give it a go and we're going to see where we land. Let me just make sure that all these variables are right, and then we can upload the leads to the campaign and start gunning it. Okay, icebreaker. No, this has to be icebreaker. Cool. Okay, so now that I have all this, I think I'm going to have to change some of these variables actually. Now what I have to do is I have to add follow-ups. That's annoying. Okay. Probably grab follow-ups from an old campaign that I've already written. Let's see. This one here. Okay, let's do this. TLDR. No, this is a long shot, but agencies, think I can add a fair amount of value. See previous email. This isn't ideal. Ideally, you'd restate your whole pitch, but to be honest, my back is sort of hurting and I just want to get something up and running. So I'm probably just going to copy this, use the previous subject, and we'll just run one follow-up from now on. The value in a single follow-up is obviously you send more emails that way. There looks to be a new line here. So I'm going to add a new line here. Instead of RE agents, it's going to be videographers, editing agencies. We'll say website creative agencies. Okay. Then because we're using the previous step subject, it should come nested with the previous one up. Then why don't we just do 2 days in between each? Okay, we'll do 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we'll just go to my inboxes here. So I think I have 15 mailboxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, we do. So I'm going to do 5 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one, well, what am I talking about actually? Let's just run all of them. Doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, we're just going to do all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks good. And then we'll do all of them here as well. All right, now let's see what these settings are going to be. Are we going to do open tracking? No, I'm not going to. Delivery optimization, yes, please. Send first emails text only, yes, please. We always send the first emails text only. Daily limit, well, I have 15 mailboxes times about 30 a day is 450 daily limit. So how many am I actually going to send per campaign? Let's just divide that by 3. We'll do 150. Send 150 here, 150 there, 150 there. Easy. Show advanced options, show advanced options, show advanced options. Let's see. What do we got? CRMs, time gaps. Okay. Auto optimize. Yeah. We'll do reply rate. We'll do provider matching as well. So provider matching and then a reply rate. Then down here, I'll do the same thing. We'll do provider matching and then reply rate. And that looks pretty good to me. I think I'm just going to gun it. Yeah. So now we need leads, right? So I don't actually have any leads in here. So I'm just going to save all these first. Then I'm going to go upload all the leads. And then I'm just going to double check before I make everything live. And then, yeah, we should be good to go. So let me just verify that we have all the icebreakers. Yep, looks like we do. On that page, real estate, let's go down to video agencies now. Verify we have all the icebreakers here too. No, not seeing anyone's. Why not? So do we get a bug or something? Okay. Well, how about the website agent? Oh, no. Oh, I ran them all. Oh, I just wasted like 3,000 ops. That sucks. I updated the same sheet. All right, well, we'll just run them all again. No big deal. No problem at all. Sometimes you make mistakes, and when you do, they cost you $6. And I just made myself a $6 mistake. Video underscore agency and then website underscore agency. Rough stuff. But what are you gonna do, huh? Website underscore agency. Don't do what I did. All right. Okay. All right, let's run this again. So I'm going to have to remove all of the old icebreakers because there's no... Yeah, I think the reason we got that is because we didn't pass in a row number, right? There's no row number. Okay, so let's run this again. Okay. Now let's verify that looks good. It does. Sad. This one, how are we looking? No, I don't seem to be filling that in. Am I doubling up again? I'm probably doubling up again. We're pulling from video agency. We're dumping in video agency. We're doing the row number. We're getting the icebreaker. Oh, sorry, that's 2.icebreaker, yeah. Yep, we got a lot of mistakes over here. This is also 2.icebreaker, so... Oh, in fact, it's even more. We'll go icebreaker there. And we just got to verify that this looks good. It does. Cool. All right, now let's make sure that everything's good. Website agency filling up. Yeah, website agency's filling up. How about this one? This one looks like it's filling up. Cool. And then how about this one? Yeah, looks good. All right, guys, so do not waste 3,000 operations like me. You do not want to be wasting the operations. I wonder how many we've wasted now. Yeah, you could see my daily ops usage before, like 500. Now it's at like 7,000. So how many more I got? Okay, I have enough. I can run it all. Rough. I should note that you could build systems that optimize the hell out of this. Right now, we're sending 80 Google Sheets calls, and then we're also doing 80 OpenAI network requests. You could actually batch all this to one, and you could make this one. Well, you shouldn't do one. You should do 2 or 3. Usually like one every batch request for 500 or so rows. But yeah, we could realistically like do this whole thing in like 10 ops, but I decided that I would rather go speedy and still show you guys how to get up and running as quickly as possible rather than worry too much about making it super perfect and then spending a bunch of time on shit that really doesn't matter. You could spend money for time, and that's exactly what we're doing here. All right, just reran the icebreaker generator, and now we have everything all good to go for all 3 groups. I'm now going to just download this as a CSV. So we're going to do just the real estate one first, and then I'm going to go to my real estate campaign, which would be this one here, and then I'm just going to upload the leads. So head over to leads, add leads. Notice I'm doing this manually for now, but obviously we could automate the hell out of it later. What we need to do now is we need to match the column. So first name, last name, headline, nope. We don't need any of this stuff. Nope, not location, no. Email though, icebreaker, that's what we need. So we'll go custom variable there. The rest of the stuff I don't really need either. Obviously, you can import as much of these as you want. I just didn't import many of them. That's a lot of fields, right? So I do not do the verification. I am going to check for duplicates across campaigns list and the rest of the workspace because I don't want to be sending people 2 different campaigns. Usually we end up with like a few people deduped, so that's that. Then I'll do the same thing for the second campaign, which was my video agency. So let me go download as a CSV. I'm going to add some leads, CSV, just drag and drop this puppy. Same energy, right? So what we are going to upload is the icebreaker. The rest of the stuff is a no. We have a lot of columns here. This should be good. We've got the first name, I think, which is what matters. We may have some crossover there. While that's uploading, I'll do the last one. So website agency. I'm going to download this CSV. I'm going to go to leads and then add leads, CSV, drag and drop. Same energy here, just want to upgrade or import the icebreaker, go all the way down to the bottom, and then add all of these contacts, okay? All right, so now that we've done this, what we have to do is we have to double or triple check that the campaign is good to go, basically. So the way that I do it is with preview. So just making sure that all of the data here is filled in. There's nothing under thanks. That's a problem. So why is there nothing under thanks? Sometimes there is no sending account name variable. So I go to variables here. I'm not seeing anything. Instantly sending account name. Let me just see if we could add some variables here. I always change the name a bit. Okay, here we go. Sending account first name. This should be good. I'm going to go back here, go sending account first name. Oh, we have one extra variable over here. One sec. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Awesome. So I'm going to do now is just copy this over because I would have screwed up otherwise. I'm going to save and then delete any additional ones I have. I got to do it all over, unfortunately. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Let's just make sure that everything's good. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing here. Also do the same thing down here. That, and then I should, do I do that? Oh, actually, you know what? It looks like I already had it on the follow-up. Okay, so what am I going to do now? I'm literally going to preview this for all of them. That looks good. I'm now going to go here, preview. That looks good. I'm going to go over here, preview. That looks good. I'm going to go back here, preview. Thanks again. I don't know why we didn't get the sending account first name. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Save this, preview. Cool, looks good. This one here is preview. Cool, that looks good. Let's now go over here, preview. This is very important, got a preview. For whatever reason, we didn't have the sending account first name, so I'm gonna save, then preview. Okay, we got it. Gonna preview this. Okay, we got it. This, actually, I didn't really fully preview this. Let me not cheat. Okay, cool. All right, now that we verified literally everything here, we can actually get up and running with this campaign. After this, I'm going to take a little break. Usually it takes a day or so to start receiving replies. Also worth noting that it's technically Easter right now, so I'm probably not going to get a lot of people responding to this in the near term. Oh, sorry, there's one more thing I have to verify first. Schedule. So I always like doing Monday to Saturday. I like doing 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. ET. So what I'm going to do here is go 7, 6, okay? I'm going to do Monday, Friday, all the way to Saturday. Then I'll go 7, 7, and then I'm just going to copy this and then paste it in 2 tabs. Okay, so now I have everything here. 7 to 6 should be good. I've double and quadruple and sextuple checked. Now I'm going to resume this campaign. I'm going to go back here. And now I have 3 campaigns that are up and running. Okay, so I'm going to go sign off for the day, and then I'll check back in a couple, and we'll see how the responses to this email campaign have gone. This is exactly what I would do, starting a whole sequence from scratch. So we see here, we've now checked that last create an irresistible offer. So we just have 2 things remaining. Okay, so I woke up at the crack of dawn this morning because I was very excited to see all of these email replies roll in. I got a couple of notifications over the course of the night. I decided I wasn't going to respond to anything just because I wanted to be able to review them all with you. But yeah, great news. In the last, I think 13 or 14 hours, we received a total of 11 replies. 7 of them were positive. So this is one here. And you see even the, maybe not the most positive of replies are still okay, right? So Elizabeth, thank you for reaching out. I will pass, but appreciate you reaching out. Thank you. This fellow says, Natalie, thanks for reaching out. We currently subscribe to a platform that does what you're describing. It's called Y Lopo. I wish you all the best in this venture. Thanks. This person says, no, thank you. I don't buy leads of any kind. And if I did, I wouldn't go after buyers. What's interesting is immediately after that, we just had a swarm of yeses. So right after that, hey, Samantha, thanks for reaching out. I'm open to working something out if you could provide us leads for sure. Yes, I'd be interested. Let's meet. Let me know what time works for you. So this person actually explicitly is like, hey, let's get going. Let's actually sit down. Let's actually jump on a call. Obviously something in my pitch, which in this case looks like it was the videographer pitch, was very compelling to them. This person says, let's talk more. We also now have their phone number. We have all of their personal information. We give them a ring immediately if we wanted to. This person says, yes, I'd be interested. Send me more info. We're going to get a lot of like, send me more info replies to this sort of campaign just because the way that I put it together, right? I said, would this be a value of you? You know, let me know your thoughts and then I could put it in front of you. This is more of like a value campaign. And when you have a value campaign, we're a bit lighter on like the let's book a sales call immediately, obviously. We are asking, but not everybody will take us up on it. We got an I'm not interested from this person. We got a please send more details from this person. We got a thanks for reaching out. I'd love to test things out. I'm looking to expand my acquisition channels to the company as well. Mostly for your info, I'd like to get a bit more background on the process you have, so I know we could work something out. Let me know if you can send a quick loom, but if that's too much, we'd love to just get a bit more info. And this person here says, hey, Elizabeth or Nick. So I think the reason for that is because I said that I scaled 1 second copy. Yes. Saw the redirect to Nick Sarive's personal brand. Is this a project under his umbrella? I'd love to see what it can do. Can you send me over a preview or a sample? I'm not going to say this is the best campaign ever. If we look at the stats, okay, we could already pull some numbers from it. The website agency campaign responded, we got 5 replies from it, and every single one of those replies were positive, okay? The videography campaign, we got 2 replies from so far, and 66% of the replies so far are positive. But we can already start making some determinations about like where we go next, and it's really only been a day, which is pretty crazy. The real estate campaign has had 3 replies, okay? So fewer replies than the website campaign by far, and then we've had 0 opportunities. So we haven't really sent enough emails to be able to fully say whether or not this approach is going to work right now. But I've run enough of these to know that when there's a divide that's this big between a successful campaign, which basically is a 2% positive reply rate over here, then a campaign that has a 0% positive reply rate over here with, 510 emails sent collectively across the two of them, I have a feeling this real estate campaign probably just ain't it, dog. So, a couple of minor optimizations we could do already if we wanted to significantly increase the number of positive replies we get. Like, keep in mind that I sent all this stuff on Easter Monday, right? So most people aren't working on Easter Monday. I imagine the results would have been a little bit better if I'd sent them during a weekday or work day or something. But a couple things that we could have done to make this even better. A couple things we can do. If we cut this off, okay, then in an equivalent time period, so in, 13 hours, however long it's been since I started this, then we would be able to take those 255 and we'd be able to disperse them across these two. So we would have been able to get another 125 here, another 125 here. And given the reply rates, we probably would have received another 3 positive replies here, maybe like another 1 or 2 positive replies here. So mathematically, like we could already be in the neighborhood of generating 10 positive replies a day. As you see, a couple of those are legitimately like, hey, let's get on the phone right now. Hey, let's meet. If you can get them on a call, realistic rate is something like 60 to 75% positive reply to a call, assuming that you have a pitch like mine. If you have a much more direct pitch, if you're like, let's talk, let me put something in front of you, I'm going to charge you money for this, here's my crazy super detailed offer, and you just give them all the information up front, obviously you'll have a higher conversion rate on the back end to a meeting, but you'll have a lower kind of positive reply rate initially. So we kind of play with those numbers. There are a lot of other things that we could do. If I go back to this Unibox here, we can blend together the booking a meeting side of things with just direct calls. This is something I'm seeing a lot of people do. So how one of these people back here had their phone numbers, right? And their phone number was like fully listed out. We actually have a lot of their phone numbers as well. But yeah, this person here just listed out their whole phone number. Oops, I don't actually want to open FaceTime. No, thank you. That'd be fun. Hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, just recording a video right now for several tens of thousands of people. How you doing? That might actually be pretty enjoyable now that I'm thinking about it. But this person just has their phone number, right? So what you can do is instead of just cold calling a massive audience of people right off the top, like a lot of people think that they have to do, and I understand why you want to cold call. Cold calling's, it's fun, it's nerve-wracking, it's enjoyable, it's like an adventure, right? But ultimately in 2025, it's not very effective, okay? So instead of just cold calling totally cold audiences, what you could do is you can run a pre-qualify campaign like this, blast it out to, as many people as humanly possible, get a 2% positive reply rate, send 10,000 emails, get 200 people saying, yeah, I might actually want to do this. Then just call all of them. The next time that you run a call campaign, every single one of those people will be warm. And you'll be able to say, you'll not have to say, hey, I never talked to you before. It's like, hey, how's it going? We just chatted over email. You just got back to me a few moments ago about, wanting to put a demo together. Just wanted to touch base. I think you guys are really cool. And yeah, just want to put myself out there. Like you can actually do those sorts of campaigns and you can do them really well. When you've done enough lead gen, then you start to see patterns with this stuff. And a big pattern in cold calling, just for the people that are watching this video, for your benefit, is just most of the time when you call somebody, you're like instantly disqualified unless you have some previous connection. Quick and easy way to cut through all that noise. Some other things that I'd experiment with moving forward on these campaigns, if I go back to this website one here, I would now experiment with cutting the campaign length pretty dramatically. So you could do this in the same campaign, or you could do this by duplicating the campaign and then like comparing the stats one for one. Personally, I just like doing all this stuff in the same campaign because with the analytics tab, what we can do is we can actually see specifically which thing most people responded to. And it looks like so far, basically everybody's responded to variant A. They haven't responded to variant B. So here you could actually just like add 10 different steps. Although keep in mind, it'll split the volume across all of them. You could add 10 different steps and then you could see, which step is the best. And maybe one of them is just like a quarter of the length. Maybe one of them is just like a quick little message. And maybe you could experiment with things like asset-based outreach as well, which is a very big trend right now that usually generates you significantly higher positive reply rates, with the drawback being, you have to like generate an asset. So you can send fewer emails a day usually because you have less data by which you could generate an asset. And it usually also costs you like a cent or something per lead that you send out, because you have to, run the token cost to generate the PDF that's customized or something like that, right? So yeah, a lot of stuff that you could do here. Hopefully you guys are seeing where I'm coming from. In terms of next steps responding to these particular leads, what I would recommend everybody here do is when they get to this point with their own email campaigns or whatever sort of outreach, have some templates that do 80-20. So have some templates that like get you 80% of the way there that answer basic responses. Like for instance, let's see, this one here, okay, where the person says, let's talk more. Have a template that says, hey, name, thanks so much for getting back to me. Really enjoyed reading through whatever website they have or digital property they have. And sure, like, let's get something on the books right now. Do you have a calendar that you could send over? Would you like me to do it? If not, I have 3 times available, XYZ. Just send me over the closest one and I can give you a ring directly at this number, or we could set up like a Google Meet. The point I'm making is try and minimize the amount of back and forth. If you want to make a campaign like this work really, really well, what you do is you actually just like add the times directly in the outgoing email and you say like, hey, I can meet 7 a.m. on whatever date, 9 a.m. on whatever date, or 11 a.m. on whatever date. And then usually, you'll get a lower positive reply rate, but you're going to have people give you the exact times that they want you to call them. And then you can actually just like do it without any back and forth. But yeah, so what I would do is I'd make these templates, right? Once you have a couple of templates set up, so I don't know, like a positive reply template, maybe you have a template that's please send me over more info. You have a template that explains something really briefly. Hook up the Unibox to your phone. Instantly has like a Unibox mobile app. And so you can actually see the responses come in live during the day. Do whatever you need to do on your phone to prioritize those notifications. And then have the template set up so that the second that an email comes in, you have like an internal rule. If it's between 7 a.m. to like 9 p.m. or something, your internal rule is I will respond to this email within 5 minutes. If you guys get leads like this, you need to treat them like gold, okay? So don't do what I did and wait, so you could batch them all and have something nice and impressive to show on a YouTube video. The second you get a lead, that's when you sit down and you message them back. Because leads are basically the closest thing you have to actual money at this point. And so you need to treat them with the respect and reverence they deserve. Also keeping in mind that it's cold outreach. You've never really contacted a person. If you're not constantly on top of them, there's no reason for them really to get back to you. They have a bunch of other people in their email inbox trying to do the same thing, albeit hopefully much worse than you are. Okay, great. Hopefully I've shown you guys how you could whip up an AI service completely from scratch and get it to the selling stage. We're now at the point where we're validating the idea. We already have people that are interested in the loose thoughts that I put in front of them. What I'm going to do in subsequent videos is I'm actually going to work through building these services. So building services for the campaigns that people respond positively to and showing you guys how to put together a specific templated or productized automation that you could then sell to audiences like this. This is the way you do business today. You don't build and then hope that people will come. What you do is you have some minimum viable product idea, okay? You don't even have to put the product together. But what you do is you start selling all of the possible products you could put together. People respond positively to a few of them. And then once you validate them, then you actually build the thing. So this is going to be a series that shows you guys how to do all of that. And I'm really looking forward to putting it together. Thanks so much for making it to this point in the video. If you guys like this sort of stuff, you'll love Maker School. It's my 0 to 1 daily accountability program where I basically show you how to do exactly what I just showed you in this video, but in way more detail. And instead of you just watching me do it, you actually get to do it with resources and templates and assets. Everything in the program is set up to make your life as simple as humanly possible. Whereas if you guys already have a business that's thriving and you guys want to take it to the next level, perhaps by incorporating some of this outreach or maybe some other sort of standardized or templated system, definitely check out makemoneywithmake.com. This is my premier and exclusive automation community, currently capped at 500, where essentially we take something that is working, then we sprinkle a little bit of automated systems, productization, templating, and standardization to take you to the next level, $25,000 a month and beyond. Thank you again. Please like, subscribe to all that fun YouTube stuff to bump me up to the top of the algo, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Cheers.